Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Please subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you will be notified every time I upload a new video. And that way you can go on this journey with me and everyone else to heal your mind, body, soul, your family, and get on the right path to achieve your dreams and become who you're supposed to be, your true calling for the world. My name is Sarah Harvey. I am your life coach, prophetic energy healer, massage therapist, herbalist, and God has called me to do these videos to share with the world everything He has shared with me. And through this, if you're following me on this journey, you will come into alignment with God's will for your life, which will be amazing. It's going to be greater than you've ever imagined. You just have to be in alignment with His will, which a lot of times means going through some really hard things. He's purging the soul. He is cleansing you and taking things out of you that are holding you back from being your greatest potential. So you have to trust, surrender, and obey. So today we're going to talk about the wilderness, the desert, the season of isolation. When God is trying to teach you things and raise you up a little bit more spiritually, He's going to isolate you. And He's going to tell you to rest. He's going to close all the doors of social life. So you're not going to have friends. You're probably going to do a job where you're working alone from home, or in an office where you're not allowed to communicate with people because they're really strict. You're not going to date, or your husband or wife will just be so busy that there's not a lot of interaction, or maybe they'll be gone on a work trip. So it's going to be isolation, however that looks, and it's for a purpose. He is going to basically close all your doors and force you to stop distracting yourself and to sit with yourself. And when you do that, a lot of unpleasant feelings emerge. And that's what He did in 2020. 2020 was a season of isolation. It was a worldwide reset where God was saying enough is enough. I'm going to talk to you one-on-one. So He shut the whole world down, and He shut down the churches. A lot of churches, there's a lot of things going on with a lot of churches, but a lot of pastors are really self-seeking and glorifying themselves. I'm amazed when I watch pastors on YouTube where when they introduce a speaker or something, it's all about glorifying and worshiping the speaker or the pastor. It's unreal. I'm so shocked every time I hear it. But it's really about glorifying the pastor or the speaker rather than God. And God doesn't like that. He's going to shut you down. So it was funny to see all of these pastors that would glorify themselves standing alone in a massive auditorium by themselves. So that was the true ultimate test. Are you doing what you're doing for God, or are you doing what you're doing for yourself? So I loved that. Another thing was we were no longer allowed to go out and do fun things that make you feel happy when you're going through stuff. We weren't allowed to go to church and hear something from a pastor to make us feel better about our lives, where then we go home and just keep living in sin. So 2020 was God saying, time out. Enough is enough. And He was resetting us. And a lot of promises were made during that year. To me, God spoke to me about the man I'm going to marry. He told me who I was going to marry. He told me to buy my wedding dress. I'm going to have a son named River. And this is going to go into this word. So this is adding on to this. We're going to do a little detour. If you were given a word from the Lord in 2020 and it didn't happen, there was a spirit of delay. And I've heard this multiple times, so I'm going to repeat it to people. There was a spirit of delay that has happened. And in 2022, the promise that God gave you in 2020 is going to come to fruition. So we're going to put this to the test because I've heard it multiple times. And so I'm going to stand on that is from God. So I feel that in 2022, I will get married to this person God told me I would marry. And then I am sure in the next few years following that, I'll have my son, who I already have baby clothes for. So we're going to just test that. I also feel that a lot of things are going to start happening. The suddenly moments are going to start happening in the spring around May. And that's also going to be for a few people. I'm assuming for myself, if this happens, May is going to be the beginning of everything God is taking me to, which could be so many different things. I know that I'm going to open a wellness center with holistic health practitioners. I know I'm going to open a healing retreat. I know I'm going to go global with my coaching and teaching seminars. I'm going to write a book, and then the marriage prophecy. So I don't know what that's going to be, but in May, a lot of things are going to start happening. And that's going to be for those who also have felt God speak a word over their lives that hasn't happened yet. So anyway, back to the isolation. I was going to do that in a separate video, but there are a few of you that are watching this video that needed to hear that word. So that's for you. That is your confirmation that your promise from 2020 is going to happen this year, and May is going to be the beginning. So isolation is how God communicates with you, because you have no more distractions. And a lot of times it's a shift in your reality to where you actually feel like you're losing your mind, because you're having a shift in consciousness. When we come into this world, we are stuck in this suit of sin. The flesh is what keeps us stuck. And that's how, as an energy healer, I can read the issues in your life that are causing physical manifestations, because that's what the flesh is. It's a suit of bondage, and we are on this prison planet of earth, stuck, and we are disconnected from God. And through obedience and dying to ourself and denying the flesh and obeying what is good, that still small voice that we want to fight, the one that says return that money, or the one that says go tell him you're sorry, that's the voice of God that we don't want to do. And most of the time it's something we don't want to do. So that is shifting you actually from this fleshly prison self more in the spirit. Most of us have had dreams we could fly, because we know that this body is a prison. It's shackles, it's bondage. And the spirit is free, and the spirit is higher resonating. It's a higher vibration that vibrates on a frequency closer to God, where we understand and see things completely different. The universe is written in a specific code, and the closer you grow to God, the more you can read that code. And that may not make sense to you, but just wait, because the more God works with you, you're going to see things. You'll see repeating number patterns. You'll hear things repeated throughout your day, and it'll get your attention. Little synchronicities and coincidences. That is how the universe speaks and communicates with you that you're on your right path. So it's through the isolation. Allow yourself to lose your mind so that you can find it. The Bible says that those who love their lives will lose it, and those who hate their lives will find it, something along those lines. So allow yourself to lose your mind so that you can be elevated to a higher understanding. I know that sounds a little bit odd, but those of you who this is for, you understand it. So let yourself be isolated. And in the time of waiting, there's a saying that says, let the waiting room become the classroom. So when you are on the right path, you know you're on the right path. You're not in disobedience. You're not outside of the will of God. You know you're on the right path, but you're not hearing God. So that means you're on the right path. And it's the same as when you're on a road trip and you put your destination into Siri. She's going to tell you a lot of turns to make. She's going to be right there with you in the beginning. And then when you're on the right track and you're going to be there for hours, she's silent. So you just keep going. And whatever comes into your life, allow it. So just let things flow in and out, but you're on the right path. And when you make a wrong turn, she's going to tell you, turn around, you did that wrong, turn around, go back to where you were. And that's how God works. And when you get to your destination or you're about to make a turn, she's going to say something again. So it's the same way that God works. The physical is a reflection of the spiritual. So they work hand in hand, very similar. So let the waiting room become the classroom and surrender to the wilderness. You have to go through a time of isolation and wilderness and purging and teaching and growing and resting before you're sent on a mission. So the time of isolation comes right before a suddenly moment where everything happens at once, and you have been rested, and you have been educated, and you have been in a time of meditation and prayer for long enough to be ready to handle what's coming next. So if you're in a time of isolation right now, or if you're not, but you're about to be, trust it, surrender, and pray. You have to ask God what he's doing for him to speak to you. And just trust it and allow yourself to lose your mind, because he is breaking down old thought patterns and putting in new ones for your next path. If you have any questions about this, put it in the comments below and I'll answer them maybe in another video. So I hope that you guys enjoy your day, and I will see you next time.